Anna, get her. This is it. Today's the day. I'm finally gonna actually operate the strip-till machine here. So got to get Old Glory set up on it first. Can't go stripping without flying our nation's colors. That'd be absurd. I'm having some issues getting the variable rate fertilizer files in the correct spot on that computer and getting the implement guidance set up. And I'm just not used to running that 4600 Gen 4 monitor. I've run it for the basics, but when it comes to loading files on, I know this monitor, but I don't know that one. So I've got Midwest Machinery. They're sending a tech out. She's gonna go through that and set that up so she knows what's going on. I just don't know enough of what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna jump across the road here and work some cover crop in. This hill out here, which is right across the road from the yard, not far from our house. This is one of our home quarters, we call it. It's always sandy, it's always dry, the crop is never good. You can kind of tell if you're a farmer, you can tell from the crop residue here that's left over that there wasn't a lot of corn on this hill. The big issue with it is that it's really sandy underneath. The topsoil isn't real deep here compared to what we normally have. And I think that's because of the erosion over the years, particularly the wind erosion. It blows really bad in the winter. So we've left it stand without doing tillage on it many times, and it's never an issue. This year, what I'm wanting to do, or what I'm doing, is we have spread winter rye on it. So the idea is hopefully we'll get some of this rye growing, and that will hopefully stop some of the wind erosion over the winter. I don't know if we're gonna get anything going and growing at this point. We didn't get out here as early as we wanted to. It'd be nice to get some growth out of it, but we're gonna have to see if it works out that way or not. Nonetheless, I'm gonna take the angle out of the blades on the Mendeco, and I'm just gonna toss the top of this stuff just a little bit to get a little bit of seed to soil contact. They're not easy to find, but there's about 60 pounds per acre of rye out here. So I went a little bit heavier rate being this late in the season. And I just want this stuff to incorporate into the soil just a little bit, scratch it in, hopefully it'll get growing. If it doesn't get growing this fall, it'll start growing in the spring, I hope. And then the idea actually is gonna be to plant right into living rye over the top of this hill in the spring. You can see we did some tillage here. We actually did that with the Case Speed Tiller. So I'm gonna run over that again with the VT, take all the angle out of the blades and just toss it a little bit. This is gonna be barely tilled right here. I'm just tossing that top little bit to get that contact on the soil, and hopefully we have something. I think it would be awesome to come in here in the spring and see that there's no wind erosion, there's living roots, there's something on top of this hill, and then we can plant right into it and get some soybeans growing up through it. I've seen examples of it working really well. However, never this far north, never with my neighbors. But hey, if there's a place that's gonna work, it's on this dry hill. I know we don't ever get a great crop here anyway, and I know that this hill is always dry, so I'm gonna try it. Let's take the angle out of the tillage tool here and see what she does. So the Mendeco Storm here's got just a switch box so you can adjust the different banks. Let's see, I think it's with number 2. You can adjust the banks. No, it's 3. What is it? Yeah, 2. There we go. There, if you watch those front disc gangs move, we're up to 14 degrees right there. That's where I've been running. I'm gonna drop it down to a skosh over 0, and I'm gonna do the same with the back bank. And now I'm gonna drive faster because it's gonna pull easier, and I'm gonna toss that little bit on top. There we go. Just mixing that top. I'm actually very good at incorporating rye seed, very good. You'd be surprised. I have finished incorporating the 25 acres of cover crop just in time to meet our fertilizer truck back at the yard and load that strip-till machine. And it sounds like the file complication and the implement complication I was having with the computer on that machine wasn't my deal again. Apparently we were missing a harness, so Midwest has got one right up the road, and she's going to be putting that on there. We're going to have that thing going very soon here. I think. I keep saying that, but it's got to be true here sometime. Hello. Got trucks coming and going. Got Midwest out here. Got the fertilizer truck out here. Half a mile south, we got somebody throwing in drain tile. Jim's running the ripper. Oh, maybe he's not. The ripper's sitting there. Where's Jim? And we got a guy over there working on the LP tank. We got a zoo going on. It's a zoo. No admission though. Don't come visit. All the animals smell funny anyway, so you don't want to come to this zoo. Six inches closer yet. Tim, how's it going? Good. Okay, sounds good. So this is our potash or our potassium going in. Hopefully we're far enough in there. Perfect. Our first product is in there. I could have used a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll get more next time. And our second product is going in here. So this is our phosphorus. It's monoammonium phosphate, or an 1152-0 for an analysis. Now the next thing to do, we've got the air cart loaded, we've got the piles on. Next up, for my next trick, I need to teach myself to, I need to relearn myself how to calibrate the fertilizer weight coming out of this thing. There's a whole lot of... Number one here, I want to make sure that I've got fertilizer coming out and that my depth is set okay on everything because I adjusted things. Disc blades, they're okay. Row cleaners look okay. The rears, these are too shallow. That's an easy fix. I know what I did there, but I got them too shallow. Check the depth of my shanks here. Sweep away here. There's maybe an inch there. I think I'm satisfied with those. Now I want to check and make sure I got product coming out of all the tubes. I'm not calibrated at all, but I want to make sure there's flow there. So I'm going to hope I can do it manually by raising up the implement and turning this handle. No. Okay, why? I'm not turning the meter rolls. I have a lot to relearn. I'll bet it's because I don't have... Maybe I need to assign products and rates. I'm gonna let you guys go for a bit. I'll be back when I figure out, you know, my life.
Meter setup screen.
Just
on the monitor,
relearning myself how to calibrate this thing.
Select the tank that was calibrated from the...
Now in order to know exactly what rate this machine is putting down, it has to know the weight of the product that it's applying. So we need to know the exact weight of our potash and our MAP back here, of our two nutrients that we're putting on right now. So I removed the bottom plate from the meter housing here, and I put this little catch bag on the bottom. Now I go to my computer and calibrate, and I'm kind of learning with you guys because I haven't done this in a long time. So I'm in my air cart. I want to calibrate the front one, calibrate, install the bag, set transmission to 50, turn crank 12 revs. So that ran product into this bag, and what I've got to do is weigh that. The guys who run air seeders are laughing at me right now, but we don't run these kinds of fancy things out here, so we don't do this often. I have got 20, just a shade over 20 pounds. 20, I'd say like 20.4 pounds of that product. So I'll go look at my screen here and more than likely find out what I did wrong. Flash forward about an hour and a half. That took a while. I think we got a solenoid on the back of the air cart going bad, and I was having issues with the clutch not disengaging when I was calibrating. Now I got to load a truck for JP when he gets back. Mark my words, I will get that strip tiller going today. And I almost just fell out of the truck because there's no handle here like there is on the other two trucks. I could have died. Well, this should be the final load on this contract, which means tomorrow, maybe later today, we can get the dryer running and finish up the last 8,000 to 9,000 bushels that are in here. And then that's done. Before I set out to the field, I may as well top this thing off. Thunder. She's a bit of a train, but she's cool. This is one of our fields here. We've got a neighbor out running some drain tile for us. That's gonna help clean this field up a little bit because we have struggled with some compaction and too much moisture, particularly up in this corner here. Heck of a nice week to get projects like that done. That's what I think, yeah, it's so lumpy, and then it's sticking to those disc blades, and it's creating more lumps, and I got that one that's even plugged up at the moment. It's super inconsistent. I think that would make it a lot worse because it's so sticky out here. What are your thoughts?
Disc blades in our ground.
It's disc blades in the ground. That's what it looks like to me.
In our ground. Disc blades and sand work good, or in lighter ground.
Yeah.
But in our heavy wet stuff, the mud just sticks to the disc blades, and it's never had luck with discs of any type up here.
It's just so lumpy. That's what I think, yeah. It's so lumpy, and then it's sticking to those disc blades, and it's creating more lumps, and I got that one that's even plugged up at the moment. It's super inconsistent. I think that would make it a lot worse because it's so sticky out here. What are your thoughts?
Disc blades in our ground.
It's disc blades in the ground. That's what it looks like to me.
In our ground. Disc blades and sand work good, or in lighter ground.
Yeah.
But in our heavy wet stuff, the mud just sticks to the disc blades, and it's never had luck with discs of any type up here.
It's just so lumpy. And so inconsistent. You got spots where, I mean, it's always chunky everywhere it goes, but spots where it's tilling a nice strip, and then over here, it's like it's just making a mess, really. Honestly, if the co-op was out here doing this, I'd tell them to leave. Because when you look at the front disc blades, I've got them only running at about 1.5 inches, because they don't need to cut much here. And I've got the row cleaner ones there that are concaved.
Yeah.
They're barely doing anything most of the time. They're just pushing residue. And then those back ones, I've got them up as high as I can get them. They're just supposed to keep the dirt in to keep the strip nice. But everything is so damn sticky. This one here is plugged.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally plugged. It's just pulling. Yesterday it was these that were making a mess. So I pulled those all up. Well, you can see they're barely touching the ground. They don't need to touch the ground much here on this soybean stuff. It's these that are making the biggest mess, I think. But you gotta have them down. We're out of here. It's really disappointing to pull out of here, but it's just, it's ugly, really ugly. I mean, we got the one row that's even plugged up, and I didn't think you'd ever. We've got another field 6-7 miles south of here that I'm gonna go to. They had less snow down there, so we know they're a little drier, and that field has much lighter soil. It's one of our lightest fields. This is not. This is pretty average, really good field for us. So I definitely don't want to wreck this field, because this will be a difficult fix next year if I compact the heck out of it now. I'm really, honestly, genuinely bummed out at this. We put a lot of work into this thing, and I think it's a good machine. I really do. But even if it works on this next field I'm headed to, it's not going to work for most of our fields most of the time, because we're not unusually wet. Our soil's just typically always that sticky. I don't know, I'm bummed. Looks like the ripper did a decent job on that field. That's good. Still throwing pipe in the ground. That's good. Tell you what, guys, there seems to be no better return on investment in our area for a farmer than drain tile. I mean, it's just unbelievable the difference it makes. And no, that's not Randy, the master pipe layer. My buddy Randy, he does drain tile about an hour to the west. So he's a little ways out there, and he's just so busy that those guys don't really want to throw everything on the trailers and come this way just for a few small jobs with us. So we get guys from around here.
I do.
Joey, you did. I don't remember what I called you for, but We got it handled now. Snow drifts in the road ditch yet, but I know they had a lot less here. Let's hope this goes. You guys probably can't see it on camera, but I can see it here that this soil is it's just a much lighter, coarser soil. Switch our prescriptions here because we're in a different field. Up here maybe? Where's it at? There we go. Hagen 120, front is 0060. Okay. Converting prescription. Here it should show when it does this, there would be a little colored map of our ups and downs of our variable rate. There you can see kind of the high and low spots on that nutrient. Okay, nope, don't need that. Now I go to the rear, set up a new prescription on the rear. Hagen 1152.0. There we go. It certainly looks better from in here, I think. Some of them row cleaners are still doing way too much. Alright, let's jump out, see what things look like. Clearly we've got much lighter soils here. I mean, this stuff's sandy. There's literally a gravel pit in those woods there, so this is as dry of a field as what we have. We have a couple like this, but you know, I wouldn't say it looks beautiful, but that's a drastic improvement. Look at how much less lumpy that is. I still wonder if the berms need to be up higher. If I need more berming. Man, that's a world of difference. That I'm not scared of at all. I do wonder though, my berm's the low area here versus in the middle. And I don't know if that's coming from my row cleaner deals. I think it's mostly these that I'm having issues with, but they should not be set too aggressively at the moment. Maybe they are, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it looks a heck of a lot nicer than the other field. It seems like those are a little consistent in the back, so I think I'm gonna watch them and maybe move a few of them up, the few that seem like they're berming the most. Seems obvious to me that some of them are plowing more than others, so I brought my handy little adjustment tool here. Let's see if that helps. Should. So I've raised them all a bunch, like a bunch. And I'm still getting this crap. Clearly there's way too much ridging in between the rows there. And it's on both sides. I wonder if that one isn't plugged again. Maybe there's a rock in there. Yep, that'll do it. I just want to get to work. I've got all these raised up. They're not even doing anything. And I'm berming up like this. My gut feeling says this now, that these are set wrong. And I wish I knew better what I was supposed to do with them. It's tough because sometimes they look pretty good, certain ones, and then other times they look like these back there where it's all wrong. And I'm so frustrated. I've spent 2 days of my time that I don't have right now, right before the ground freezes up, working on this, and it's not. I'm so tempted to just pull out and park this thing, but we don't even have our own rig going now. It'd be another day of switching our cart back over to run with our setup that we had. 7 1/4 on each side. So it's gonna be like 15 inches wide total. You think just widen it out? Widen each side out an inch on each side? I only have room to slide it in and not out. I need to widen the closing discs out. And they've got adjustment right here, but they're all the way wide. So it's out of adjustment there. So I need to loosen all of these and slide these out all the way across the bar. And I'm gonna get shot for wasting so much time out here. Multiple nice days and not getting anything done. So I'm not sure that I'm gonna do that. But nobody's gonna answer and tell me to not waste time with it, so I'm gonna move a couple and see what happens. This one won't come out of the slot where it's worn into. This is gonna take me 3-4 hours with one guy. That's if my phone doesn't ring. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. We're gonna have to decide if we want to spend 3 hours adjusting all the row cleaners or row closers in the back of this thing and hope that it works, or if we give up on it.
You know, the bad thing about doing that?
Is that it's not gonna work anyway?
Yeah, we could spend 3-4
Well,
hours, it still wouldn't work.
that's why I called you and gave you those options, because I know which I'd rather do.
Okay, what would you rather do?
I'm ready to give up. I'm sick of wasting time. I can't do this anymore.
Empty or not?
I haven't made it to the other end of the field yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't made it. I haven't gone a half mile yet.
To the digger later.
Well, that's what I'm. That was my other option. Is I guess we could run it this way, and it's uglier than hell, and we just run over it with the digger or the Mendeco or the ripper. I don't really care. Something.
Anyway, so we wouldn't need to spread it, and then we'll come over it with a digger.
All right, I'm on it.
Okay, do you need any tools or call if you need anything?
I'm gonna tighten up what I had going here. I've got Jim bringing some tools down. I need a big hammer and a big pry bar. In order to give this thing a fair shakedown and a fair test, I have to move those because I'm confident that is, it's the only thing I got left. So I'm pretty sure that's the issue. That's what I've got to try. I'm frustrated because of the time that we've spent on it so far to this point. And we thought we had beautiful weather and plenty of time, and then the snow hit and it cost us 10 days. Thank God we've got the weather we've had this week, but I've spent it all working on this thing. And in 4 to 5 days, 3, 4, 5 days, the weather gets really cold again and we're gonna freeze up next week. We're gonna be done doing tillage. And what we should have done is we should have been right behind the combine with tillage like we normally are. The mistake we made was the weather was so nice we thought we had plenty of time, and we were wrong. And that put us here where we are now, trying to panic and get things done. And so I'm obviously frustrated, but it isn't a fair shakedown. It isn't a fair test on this thing unless I set it right.
What's up, Doc?
Well, I think I have an idea how to make it do a better job, but now I can't get any potash to come out. So I don't know what's going on there now either. It spins. It moves, but nothing comes out other than the phosphorus product. So we loosened the ones that were the worst, but we only got one moved. We had a 16-pound sledgehammer, a 16-pound maul on them. The only way to get those to move, because they're worn in at this point, because it's a used cart, the only way to get those to move is to pull them all the way off, which we're not doing. After a little more running and a little more adjusting, here's what I've concluded. That is definitely our issue. So this one here we were having problems with. We had it plugged before. We were able to move each side of this one 1.5 inches, widened it out. That is exactly what I'm supposed to be looking at. I mean, yeah, it's a tad lumpy, but that berm is exactly what I'm supposed to see, not this. What's happening is the space between these two is too narrow. I'm getting a big buildup of dirt, and half the dirt is falling out to the sides instead of staying in the berm where it's supposed to. This one is widened out. Check that out. I mean, besides the lumps, it's holding that soil inside the berm. That is clearly our issue. Unfortunately, this is a used machine, and what's happened is these U-bolts have worn their way, not even the U-bolts actually, it's down here more than anything that we found when Jim was out here. We just can't break them free of this square tube because they're worn into it. So we almost need to get them back to the shop, take that whole U-bolt off, drop the whole thing out the bottom, and reset it up in there, because we couldn't even break it loose with a 16-pound sledgehammer. I'm just so frustrated that we're so close here, and I'm not gonna get this thing a fair shake because I don't have the time. Not wanting to give up, I just tried 2 more again because they're stuck. Perspective check. Yeah, let's do that. I know what I hate to get them out here for something like that, but we're just gonna run out of time here, and I want to give it a fair shot, so let's plan on having Ron come out in the morning. Our plan is to fold up at the end of this round, bring it home, park it in the yard, and Midwest Machinery is gonna send a guy out tomorrow with a torch who can beat on this thing and get those into place while we do other things, because unfortunately we're just short on time. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet. But on top of that, totally aside from the strip-till machine, I'm having issues with the front meter on this. But look at that. Look at, once you get it set right, that's what I want. I don't know why, but it's like the transmission in here, they call it. It gets low because it's adjusting for less potash. And are you guys sick of me talking about problems yet? Like, it gets stuck on the bottom. So I'll crank it over manually and make sure both products are coming out. And they're not. They're coming out of these ones, but none of these ones are, of course. Anybody want to buy a used aircart? I know where you can get a strip-till rig to go with it. Yeah, I can't even make it to the other end to quit if I want to. Coming out everywhere. Except not into the tubes. Why? I bet you I fixed it by literally doing pretty much nothing. What do you know? I fixed it. I just gotta get out of here. Front transmission failure. I'm done. I'm out. I give up. I'm throwing in the towel. I quit for the day. I can't do it. At least I have delicious, rich peanut butter crackers.